Gemini. My name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your October 2015 forecast for the month. It's a beautiful Southern California morning. It's very hot outside. I want to thank you. I want to take a minute and thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I have a personal goal that I'm trying to meet with this venture, and your subscriptions mean everything to me. And I also want to take a minute to thank you for your loyal support on my Facebook page, Audrey Alison, Astrology and Tarot, and for your generous donations, because I have been receiving some donations from a beautiful place in France and London, and also a woman from Manchester by the Sea actually inspired me to create a donation button on my website, because when I first created it, I didn't even think of donations, but she asked me to create a button so she could donate to me without even receiving anything in return. So I want to thank her, and she knows who she is, for her generosity in this day and age, because it's rare. Especially, I receive so many requests to have people have me read them for free. I can't do it for the amount of people that ask me for free readings on a weekly basis. So I just wanted to appreciate and show my gratitude for people who would donate to this venture without receiving a reading in return. It's a beautiful blessing, so thank you. Okay, let's start the forecast. I have so much to talk about. First, our transit on the 8th of October, Venus will be leaving Leo after that very long 4-month stay, and including a retrograde in that stay. She enters Virgo through November 8th into your 4th house of home and environment and foundation. So Venus is smoothing over the environment, the four walls, the place where you come from, your deep roots too, not necessarily your literal home, but your internal home, your foundation. There's security in this placement, because Venus entering an earth sign creates a certain amount of secure emotions around there, around the 4th house of the mother as well. On the 9th of October, Mercury finally goes direct at 0 degrees of Libra, officially clearing his shadow on October 24th at 15 degrees, the degree in which he retrograded. So Mercury is officially direct now in your 5th house of romance and children and passion and creativity. We like this because the communication with your children is more on point for those of you who have them. It's also showing a great understanding in your romantic relationships now. There's not so many misunderstandings about what's been said. So that's a positive position. We like Mercury direct. Just in general, there's less technical difficulties at that time. On the 11th, there is an aspect that is worth mentioning. It's taking place throughout the entire rest of October, once it begins on the 11th, and lasting through all of the month and even in November. Now, Jupiter is trining Pluto. Jupiter in Virgo is conjunct Venus and Mars, and is trining Pluto at 13 degrees exactly, Pluto in Capricorn. So this is affecting the 4th house of home and the 8th house of children. Gemmy, bear with me. Mercury's still retrograde as I'm making these forecasts, and that's my ruling planet in my communication sector, so you feel me. Okay, Jupiter is trining Pluto at 13 degrees through the end of the month in this 4th and 8th house. So the 4th house of home and the 8th house of shared resources and property. So Geminis might be considering a move and switching things up, because Mars and Venus, Mars is instigating Jupiter. Mars is following Jupiter in a way that we don't see as much. He's right there to every degree. Jupiter's been expanding this sector for you, the 4th house. And I'm noticing the 15th and 16th consecutively, Mars joins Jupiter at the exact 13 degree mark, trining Pluto. And then on the 17th, he joins Jupiter at 14 degrees. So it's like this theme, this little dance tango together, except Mars is a very quick stepper, and Jupiter is taking his time because Jupiter sits in this sector for a full year for you. Our new moon on the 12th of October is at 19 degrees of Libra in your romance sector, your true love sector. Children, romance, fun, leisure. This new moon on the 12th is in this 5th house of children and creative endeavors and entrepreneurial energy, independent work for those of you starting your own, taking action and starting your own businesses, but also great for getting pregnant for those of you who are able to conceive at that age and wanting to conceive. The new moon in the 5th house could be the initiation of a pregnancy. On the 19th, the moon joins Pluto at an exact 13 degrees in Capricorn. So it's affecting that trine again between Jupiter and Pluto. So you have the moon, which is intuition and receptive energy and instinctual energy, joining Pluto, the planet of intensity, trining Jupiter at 14 degrees, Mars at 15 degrees, and Venus at 9 degrees. It's really intense energy for you to instinctually know maybe the 8th house of shared resources, who you should invest with, the 8th house of property, who you should consider buying from or selling to. The 8th house of, its 8th house is pretty deep. It affects the transitional areas, the death, the wills, estates, inheritances. So you can be receiving at that time. And you could become aware that you are left in someone's will at that time. It's also just the house of investments and shared resources. So this trine is positive regarding property. The 4th house of home and the 8th house of property. On the 23rd, the sun enters Scorpio, your 6th house of health and wealth. 6th house of, health and well-being and work and daily routine. The sun is the life force. I mean, I can feel him right now. He's burning my eyeballs out. I've tried to sit in different directions here, but we'll see how it goes. Wherever he goes, that's where the majority of the energy is. So in the 6th house, this is smoothing over the health. For those of you Geminis who haven't been feeling well, this is what you need, the sun in the 6th house. Also, for those of you looking for new work, beautiful transition, beautiful placement for 30 days with the sun in the 6th house of daily routine and regimen. On the 27th, our full moon is at 3 degrees of Taurus. This creates the grand earth trine because this full moon is a supermoon, and we won't receive another supermoon until April of 2016, and that one is a new moon. So it won't be the same beautiful effect as this bauble in the sky will look on the 27th, even through Halloween. It's going to be spectacular. But being at 3 degrees of Taurus, this ignites the Pluto and Jupiter energy in Virgo and Capricorn. So we have the moon in Taurus at 3 degrees in your 12th house of rest and spirituality and psychic ability, and the house of the undoing. It's the house of addictions. It's the house of release right before the 1st house. It's a very quiet house. This grand earth trine is affecting your very quiet houses, the psychic houses, the 4th, 8th, and 12th, the home, the property, the shared resources, the spirituality. So this is a beautiful moon to go internal. It's a grounding moon. It's the earth energy. It's stability. On Halloween, on the 31st, we're having another trine, but in another element. The moon that transits every 2 to 3 days, the satellite goes very quickly into signs. He enters Cancer in your money sector on Halloween or Samhain, whatever you're into. And this triggers your 2nd, 6th, and 10th house, because when the sun enters Scorpio, that ignites a trine between Neptune and Pisces. And Cancer, the moon, will be stationed there. So this is a grand water trine on Halloween, on the very nebulous day where the veil is the thinnest between the two realms of the living and the dead. And this grand water trine will take place just after the full moon of the grand earth trine. Super magical energy for those of you into that. The second house of money, possessions, self-worth, the sixth house of health, the 10th house of career. This is affecting you in a grand way, for lack of a better word. You'll be able to see the career very clearly and what you're earning and what you're worth, your self-worth, and how you should be earning. This day on Halloween will give you a very intuitive sense of where you need to take direction in the work environment. I'm going to get to the cards. I'm using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, simple pattern on the back, but I'm also paying homage to Pamela Coleman Smith in every reading. I'm telling her story because it touched me so much. Pamela Coleman Smith is the artist behind the Rider-Waite deck, that if you are a tarot reader, you have one of these in your collection. In 1878, on February 16th, Pamela was born in Middlesex, England. She traveled between London, England, Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica, and Brooklyn, New York, where she studied at the Pratt Institute of Artistry and Theater. In 1903, she entered the Order of the Golden Dawn, where most mystics like Aleister Crowley and people who had abilities or studied the Tarot usually went to find like-minded souls. In 1909, she was called upon under the guidance of Arthur Waite to illustrate 78 pictures that he named the tarot deck, right? The Rider Tarot deck. And for a token payment, he asked her to create these cards, and I'll read from the card a little bit about her story, because I am giving her the respect that she is so due. So in 1909, under the guidance of Arthur Waite, she undertook for a token payment a series of 78 allegorical paintings described by Waite as a rectified tarot pack. The designs were published the same year by William Ryder and Son. They exemplify the mysticism, the ritual, the imagination, fantasy, and deep emotions of the artist. Despite Pamela's occasional art shows and favorable reviews by critics, the continued slow sales of her works and rejections by commercial publishers left her deeply disappointed. She never married. She had no known heirs except for an elderly female companion who shared her flat in London. She had no children. She died on September 18, 1951, penniless and obscure. There was no funeral procession to honor her life, and there was no memorial service to touch upon the impact her work would one day have upon her admirers. She died disappointed that her paintings and writings failed to achieve success, yet she never stopped believing in herself. I'm getting better and better as I read this, because if you watch any of the other videos, I cry every time I read it. I'm becoming more and more comfortable with her story, but it's very touching to me. And they say Pamela Coleman would all but be forgotten, except for these 78 tarot cards that remain, and that are known as the Rider-Waite Tarot Pack. And she would no doubt be astonished and gladdened to know that today the deck touches the hearts and emotions of millions of people globally. So Gemini, I am going to read from the Rider-Waite Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot deck and see what your forecast is for October. That breeze feels so good right now. Thank you, Pamela. And I also want to tell you, if you'd like to read with me, I'm at audreyalison.com. And on October 15th, I will be returning as a third-time special guest on the Goddess Alive radio show, and where people can call in for an hour and receive free tarot tasters with me on the air live. And I'll have more information regarding the call-in number on my Facebook page, Audrey Alison, Astrology and Tarot. Gemini, here are your cards for October. First card, the Five of Swords. This has come up in a few readings, and it's the air sign. The swords rule the air, which you are ruled by Mercury. You are an air sign. And the Five of Swords is about your own judgment or feelings that you're under some competition, or that you have a comparison in your life path to those of other people. Let's see what else comes up. The Queen of Swords. Hey, Gemini. You know, Pamela Coleman's energy, considering she passed September 18th, and in one of my videos, I think it was Aries, I hadn't even realized. I started recording these yesterday on the 18th. Today's the 19th. And I didn't realize that she had passed on the same day I was reading these. And I'm telling you, in every sign, I'm pulling the cards for those signs in particular. I mean, she's right here, and I feel like she's definitely, her energy is on point right now. But the Queen of Swords, this is you, Gemmy, baby. This is your spiteful tongue, too, because you'll cut someone with your tongue before you will your sword any day of the week. And everybody knows it. Now, through the Mercury retrograde, you might have remained awfully quiet, okay? So you want to watch the words and the verbiage coming out soon. Three of Cups. Generosity, trust, friendship, respect, support through female connections or support through friends, and love and celebration. Now you have two cards at the end. The World. This is the happiest card you have in the deck. Look at the beautiful artistry of this card. The World. The goal of the work. All 4 seasons have brought you here. In a year's time, there's magic to be had. The world is at your fingertips. Success. And the Page of Wands. Get going. Get active. Use Mars conjunct Jupiter in this 4th house. Page of Wands is a messenger. The page cards are bringing in information. And this is a fiery card. Take action. It's time for action. Your ruling planet's direct now. You can full speed ahead, okay? Yes, he clears his shadow on the 24th of October, but it's smooth sailing for you. This is an amazing outcome card. Especially, you know, let this comparison or strife go that you're holding on to just mentally, because around you, you're the Queen of Swords, you know, or you're the air sign, you're the Gemini, male and female. You have friends and support and things to be happy about around you. You have something to celebrate anyway, because the world is yours. This is accomplishment coming full circle. Everything making sense accumulatively. Attaining your goals. If you take action, this is on the little side card that came out. If you take action, use everyone that's at your disposal. There's people around you willing to help you, and you could get that home, or you could get that position that you think is out of your reach, that you think is out of your reach. It's not out of your reach. It's available to you because you are creating your own life. Life is not happening to you, it's responding to you. So go out there and get it. Thank you so much, Gemmy. My name is Audrey Alison, and just keep in mind, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.